Hey everyone, today we've got this Honda Stream here and we'll be replacing the lower control arm front bush on it because it's excessively warm. That one there. So I'll show you what you need and how to go ahead and replace that. So these are the tools you require to remove the lower control arm. This applies to most Hondas because they all run a similar design, if not nearly identical. So we'll start on this side. This is a 5mm driver, so it's a hex driver, but you can use a 5mm Allen key in replacement. This is to lock the sway bar end link. So if it starts to spin, which you'll see later in the video, you lock it that way and you use this 14mm spanner to open the nut while this is locked. I've also got a 14mm socket there just in case it's a bit tight initially. You can use this and your ratchet to open it. It makes life a lot easier. There's a 17 and a 19. The 17 is for the lower ball joint nut to open that, and the 19 is to open the control arm bolts. We also have a 19mm spanner. This is to get to the rear bolt of the control arm, because most of the time there's not enough space to get into there. You'll need a hammer to hit the ball joint out, a couple of pliers to pull out the split pin from the ball joint, and potentially a ball joint separator. That is a lifesaver, that tool, because most of the times with the older vehicles you'll find that the ball joints are actually seized or rusted into the lower control arm, or to break the taper sometimes it's very difficult, so that makes life a lot easier. What I normally like to do is mark the bolts. So let's put a mark there. So what I recommend doing is marking the bolts so you know exactly how tight to go with the bolt according to the factory torque settings. It makes life a lot easier when you do that. So now we have to start by taking off the split pin here, and then we'll go ahead and remove these bolts. I'll just put on a time lapse so you can see that happen. The sway bar link. So I don't know if you saw that with the time lapse, but this nut here now is just spinning that head in there. So what you'll have to do is actually lock this in with an Allen key or a hex socket, something like that. And then you use a 14mm spanner to undo it. So you have to lock this here and then open it up. So you might have seen me use two spanners to open that rear control arm bolt. The reason why I used two spanners was to get extra leverage to actually be able to open the bolt, because it was quite tight and I couldn't fit a pipe or anything similar over this because all my pipes were too long and it was touching the fender. So it's the 2-spanner trick, and I'll show you how that works. So what you do is, with this spanner, say the bolt is here and you want to open it but you're not getting enough leverage, what you'll do is you take this additional spanner, which is normally one size bigger than this. So this is a 19, you can use a 20, 21, or even a 22 like I've got here. You put the spanner in here like so, and you lock it there. See how it's locked there? And all you do is use this as your additional lever, and you just pull up. So if the nut is here, you've got that much more leverage. And if you want to tighten it, just do the opposite. Put the spanner in here, and then all of a sudden you've got a nice little lever, and you can tighten it without struggling. So with this one, you have to make sure that you line up the orientation of the bush. So now we have the arm back in place with the new bush. So what we've done here is put a jack here to load up the lower control arm. So you want to load it up before you do the final torque on this side. So before you finally torque that and you torque that bush, you want to load up the suspension and then only torque it down, tighten it to spec.